Hi and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways. My co-pilot Jimbo Guffman is actually in Australia. He went off to Super Saturday and now he's gone off to Adelaide to buy himself another horse or two or for his clients. KB Shea's in the house. Kev,
super sub,
welcome.
super sub.
Super subs come off the bench. Well done, Shazy. Let's talk sport. Jim and I always talk sport. I know you're a Man United man. We'll start with that. You still got the famous tattoo?
Yeah, I've got the tattoo. A little bit disappointed, Lef. I would love to have seen us. We've had such a good run.
Yes.
And I think after Wednesday, I think Ollie's his interview afterwards
summed it up. Yeah.
Summed it up. The guys came out on cloud nine, and they thought they could just play around again, and they walked into a side that were fighting to get into Champions League. We all lost, three of us.
You know, Kev, being a Spurs man, I was a neutral watching the game, and I thought, firstly, it was never a penalty. The three pundits after Fowler, Giggs, never a penalty. How they gave it, you can't say that we got one last week, we were lucky. Rules are rules. When VAR comes in, I'll be happy. Yeah. He had a good game, Lukaku. He should have tucked that one. But even
First
game.
one should have gone.
Should have gone. You had chances. I thought it was a very even game. They started well. Goalie got beaten by, it went on the wrong foot from the long shot.
Yeah, that's not like the guy.
Not like the guy. He saved you before.
Yeah, he was, and actually even the pundits even said it's not like him.
Not like him.
Caught him on the wrong foot, and it was a great shot. You got to give it to him. A little bit of a sway of the ball, but that's a summer ball.
I thought you played well. Your team, I thought you played well.
Lef, I enjoyed when the pundits were speaking afterwards, and they were talking to Giggs, and they said, when the penalty comes, what do you do? And a lot of guys, it's a big thing, a lot of guys step back, and I mean, United, you got Botka, and the boys will stand up. And then they asked the guy that was sitting in the middle, and he's umming and ahhing, and there's Fowler, they said to Fowler, and when the penalty comes, he just says, that's mine, I'll take it. They just stand up there. Yeah. And you remember the old days. He had the ball under his arm. It doesn't matter where he was going to go.
Mubba Young, or his name, grabbed the ball early. Yeah. Remember, he was saved against Spurs a week ago. So he must have had the jitters. He stuck it down the middle. But
the guy who done the dive, I'm going to call it the dive, he went straight. You saw him in the slow-mo afterwards. He went like that. Give it to the man. Let him get him. Because Fowler says if you miss two...
Yeah, he still had his costume on.
Yeah, you're out, eh? You missed two penalties, you're gone.
Good. Kev, talking the other teams, Liverpool kept keeping it tight with Man City. It's a one-point game. Their goals difference is very similar. I think 58 plays 54. But unlike them, they are more jittery now.
1-0 down. They came from the start at 1-0 down.
1-0 down. But they came back two goals they conceded again.
Yeah, absolutely. So 4-2,
and fortuitous goals they got. You know, their first goal they were very lucky. The keeper really blew that. But I'm just saying they're jitters. Where Man City over the past few weeks have had a couple of 1-0 wins. So it's really getting tough. The top four is getting tough.
We want that, Left. We want everybody wants it. Because if Liverpool gets beat now, all of a sudden Man City walking on cloud nine, run away with it. It goes from 4 points to 7 points, and the game's over.
That's how we want it tight.
I want it tight, and the guys are reckon it's going to go to the wire, which I'm happy.
Yeah,
no, it's only two sides left.
Yeah, they're well clear.
Unless something drastic.
Nothing can happen there, Kev. They're well clear. But touch on the sevens. Jim loves the sevens. Springboks beat France in the final. France in the final was a surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
But well done. The first time they've won in Vancouver. Yeah. So they won in Canada. Well done to them, Kev. The cricketers. They played as well, but
our boy De Kock, look at his record.
Is he related to Mark?
Not at all, but I tell you what, I think he hits as hard as Mark. But I think he's 50, 80, 93, and over 104 games.
I don't want to bring us up as a last-minute thing, but Shea Goodman's not here. He's been telling me the Bulls are the best side here. They thumped the Sharks.
Yeah, they gave the Sharks, but the Sharks played the youngsters. I don't know, weren't the same side. Yeah. And according to the people inside, we're going to lose the three Dupree brothers.
Where are they going?
They're going overseas to Saracens and all those big sides.
Going for the money.
Going for the money. I don't blame them, but the Sharks lose those three guys left.
Yeah,
hard to replace.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a Dupree.
Yeah, I'm a great fan.
I'm a fan of them, and the coach. He was a great player as well. I'm a big fan of them, and they make a big difference.
Well, this is his crossroads year. He's got to produce. You know, let's hope he does. But
one doesn't miss the points. The other one wants to take the whole scrum on his own.
They're strong as the wildebeest.
Strong as a bull.
All right, let's go and look at our three to follow. Right, the first one we found for you comes on the 5th of March, and it's an inmate from the Michael de Kock stable. It was debuting called Ishan, And it's bred by Shadwell Kev, but it's a Captain L and a smart debut.
Smart debut. Let's have a look at this. It's very nice. You know, the Mark de Kock horses. It looks like he wants further. He's bred to go further. Yeah. But have a look at this. This is one you put in
here.
Put in your
you'll see it here. Here it is. It runs in the famous Hamdan silks. Jumps out quite well. Gets a little nudge from the horse.
Jumps out a bit sideways, but that's first time they're entitled to. But as you said, the famous Sheikh Hamdan colours, you can't miss it. Gavin sticks straight in behind.
Yeah.
And for a first timer, that can be a little bit daunting, but I'm sure they would have worked behind horses at work and at home at work. But you can see that Gavin just keeping in the race, because once they're in behind left, usually the first timers, they want to pull themselves out of it. But Gav, he's a top rider.
Yeah, Kev, a lot of pace from the creations and the humble hero Joe Somers' horse wins it with Blink Kamala, got the green light, had the form. But this was a good debut because, as you say, it's just off them, and now it's got to run between them. And a sparkling debut, Kev.
Yeah, sparkling. Gavin now gives a clear run. There you can see he comes in for the clear run. The other horse in front of him is running around, but Gavin hasn't really given him a smacker. Now he's going to give him one now. He's going to give him a little one. Come on now, it's time to get going now. He wants to go left, a little bit flat-footed. The horse in front definitely got his measure. One in the left. Yeah. Running around all over the show. It's the first time. Ears back, wants to go, but, well, put that one in your book, notebook left. I'd like to see that in a 6 furlong. We have around, Mark will go around the corner, 7 furlong, Turffontein, long straight.
He's got some powerful babies.
It's very powerful.
Very powerful yard. That's the first one. The second one, we move to the 9th of March. And the order here is the 9th of March. We found a horse for you, and this runs down in Cape Town. Lana Bell, Adam Marcus steps out this horse, Kev. This is another very good debut.
Absolutely. Let's watch this horse come out the gates. He's drawn one. Adam Marcus. His horses are normally, they come to the races wanting to learn and get on. This is straight out left into the race.
Yeah, it gets into the race fairly quickly because you've got Spirit Festival. Philomena, these horses shame pace, and Spirit Festival gets to the front, and Annabelle, he doesn't let it get out of the race here. This is Aldo Nemea, top rider, and as they turn for home, because all the action was on the white-capped horse, third last, which was called Boomsa Days, who eventually finishes third, who didn't reproduce that flying finish of its debut run.
Yeah, it didn't, not at all, but I think because of Durbanville, first time at Durbanville, it can be a tricky track. But the horse we're watching is in the box seat. He's right behind this horse in the white colours. As I said, it's an Adam Marcus horse. Normally they come to the track wanting to or needing the run and the experience. This one seems to just know a little bit more than the average of the Adam Marcus horses now. Aldo, you can see him. He has in stop riding winners. This guy's riding at the top of his game. And he's riding the horse, I think it'll just about win the July. We'll speak about that later. But gives it 2 smacks, puts his stick down now.
Quickens.
Race over left. This horse, if you pull your stick out again, it's going to go on. This really won well, and I can guarantee you there are lengths of improvement to come there. Yeah, especially knowing how the Adam Marcus and the Basil Marcus train horses. They don't jump on them, they don't stump them. Yeah. Some of them show a little bit of pace early, that's fine. Then you nominate them and put them in a race. But that'll cut.
It's Karori from Amos Kroll.
Dying to go a little bit further as well.
Karori is a very good stallion. So that's the second one. And then our third one we're going to show you came along on the 7th of March. And this was up in the Haarveld at the Vaal. And go and have a look at this horse. Kev, you'll talk them through its sluggish start. A horse called Flagship Fund. Blue and white, just about lost.
5 furlongs lost. For me now, if
6 furlong.
6 furlong, sorry. Sitting lost. Oh, sorry, it's 6 furlong. Virtually giving the race away.
Giving the race away from the jump. And Dory Sham trains us. Call the Truth, Zechner rides it. The winner's in the white face, Kev. That's a horse called Mill Queen, who has to shake off Makara, and it's a good race between them. But this horse gets into scrum. Kev running up to the last 2 furlongs.
Absolutely, that's what I was quite impressed about. Done the hard work, now all of a sudden got chased up and chased into the race. So you would think now it's going to run out of a little bit of puff at the end. You would think so. No, I've got some news for you. Doris Sham must know something. He has it on the outside here, coming left. From being left 2 or 3 lengths now, it's a neck off them. Neck off them.
Yeah. That's right.
Right it comes, yeah.
Runs a very good race on the outside fence. And as I say, Mill Queen fights back under Gav. to beat the runner-up Makora. But this is when you get left like that, Kev, this is a great run.
Absolutely fantastic. If this gets beat next time, I'll go down a mine. Absolutely. Add 3 lengths onto that. And you would have given it a chance, and he wouldn't have chased it up as well too. And now it knows what to do next time as well. So the first thing I would do as a trainer now, take it back to the gates in about 2 weeks' time. Just give it a little jump pad and pull it up.
Absolutely.
Just make sure it comes out so you've got peace of mind. You can go to the gates not knowing next time you're saying to the owner, please, let's hope it jumps.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing you can tell anybody owner. Make sure it jumps.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's go on to, we're doing 15-minute segments today, and let's go on to our next segment is Where Are They Now?
Hi, I'm Liang Gawanda, jockey, South African jockey. I've been riding in Kuwait for the last 10 years, and things have been going well. I won a few grade 1s, grade 2s, grade 3s, and I've basically ridden over 300 winners there. So season's almost over there now, so I'm back here for a few weeks just to renew my visa, and you know that things are going well there, and I'm enjoying it. It's good to be back in South Africa to visit my friends and my trainers as well.
If you've been involved in horse racing in South Africa but have either moved away, immigrated or retired, we want to hear from you. Send us a short 30-second video recording on WhatsApp and we'll flight it on the show. Clips can be sent to either James on 071 588 5769 or Paul on 083 779 1311. We look forward to hearing from you.
Well, good to see Leon. You know, you've known him for many years as a rider. He's really done well going overseas. Lovely guy.
Lovely guy, left, lightweight, never scared of work,
Yeah.
never got the opportunities in South Africa.
Is that right?
He was in quite a tough era when there was a lot of top guys around, and he was just behind the guys all the time. Hard worker, guys used him all the time, and he went overseas now, and look at this.
Yeah, no, a lot of our riders have done that. They've improved so much by going overseas, getting that experience.
Makes a big difference, Left. It's a completely different environment, racing, everything's different. Rules, regulations, everything's different. So it's fantastic, and I see that even the guys go to Mauritius, their mind just broadens to another level.
To another level. And funny enough, when you look back, Kev, quite a few travel, eh?
I would
you
say,
look at the Mauritian side, even a few guys go for a few
Keris
months.
Teaton is absolutely flying in Hong Kong.
Right,
2 winners, a meeting, and he's third in the check. Naresh Jagla.
Is Callum Murray there as well?
Callum Murray's just arrived there now too, because Barron Foster has left and gone to Australia. We'll speak about that later. So he's virtually just filling in that little void, and he's got the expat Shaw guys. They're all there. They'll give him a chance, and he's a good rider, Callum. He's in a little bit of a lost space at the moment. He had the job with Mark de Kock. He got offered to go back to Hong Kong, and he didn't have a good time. Start off, broke his nose. Start off on the back foot. Had 2 winners and hung in the 3 months. A horrible place when you're not doing well. Hong Kong.
Well, anywhere is a horrible place. You're not doing well.
But especially Hong Kong.
That's excellent, Kev. So that's Where Are They Now? And as you've seen from the clip, send as many as you can in to us. We like to have one for each week. It's always good to find out what people are doing. And we'll be back after this break.
My name is Mark van Devent. I'm a fanatic horse player, absolutely passionate about racing because of the excitement of the puzzle and all the effort that goes into solving it. But it's a great spectacle too. The horses going into the pens before the start of the race, the build-up of tension, and then finding out which horse has it in them to come down in the final stages with just 100 meters left when they're gunning for the line, neck and neck. You never know really what's going to happen in the sport. That's part of the fascination of horse racing. But with Interbet, I know not only do I still get the best odds on their site, and it's also the most informative and user-friendly place for me to bet online. Interbet were the pioneers of online and Mobi betting in South Africa, and they will continue to innovate and lead the way. Interbet, where the professionals bet.
10. Mr. Heath towards the outside. Hit the gas is trying to get closer. Elusive Diva at the 300 now, asked to go and win the race. Hit the gas is running on Maquette. Elusive Diva in front by a half. Maquette's on the outside. Anton Marcus and Elusive Diva in front. Maquette's on the outside, but over the last 50, Elusive Diva kept up to the task at hand, 1.5. Maquette second, Mr. Heath, and then came Hit the Gas.
Well, there we go. Our plum of the week, Kev, Elusive Diva. Eventually, and went off at 8.5 to 10. There was 11 to 10 available.
I heard so. I was looking to get a little bit on, but I was looking at the total odds.
Yeah, so Interbet you could get 11 to 10 as much as you liked at one stage. And with Marcus sticking with the horse, it looked to be the plum in that field.
7 starts, 14 runs, 4 seconds. Third, it was there, but we know the problem.
Yeah, correct.
And I've got to give full credit to Pete Muscat.
Lovely.
Put the tongue tie on. He says she didn't like it. It's taken him a little bit of time. You could work it out maybe from its last run.
Yes.
Taken a bit of time. Eventually, he said she's accepted it. Boom, in the winner's box.
There you go.
Well done, Pete.
Well done, Peter. That's our plum of the week. We now move on to current affairs. Right, welcome to Current Affairs. And no racing, stakes racing around the country. There were listed races up in Gauteng, and there's some very good racing for the younger horses. But we had interests in Dubai, and Kev, we had 2 horses going out there. The Vodacom Durban July winner, Marinesco there.
Trying the distance for his first time, 2.450.
Yeah, that's right, 2.4. He's obviously won a July 2.2.
Small field, set last, yep.
Majestic Mambo as well. He hadn't run for a long time. So he was, I think, runner-up in the Daily News. A very good horse too.
4th in the July.
Was he 4th in the? There you go, from Paul Peters' yard. And the 2 races we're going to show, Kev, are the 2 races that they ran in. And the first one we're going to show, we'll show you the races, the Dubai City of Gold. And let's have a look at this race. It's a Group 2 race, and we can see how they're performing.
Happy sends them away, and Crowned Eagle off the inside commenced well. So too Old Persian. So too Racing History with the red cap going up on the outside. Spotify just off them. Prince of Aaron goes up on the outer. Next of all is Second Summer as they leave the straight. Now Team Talks trapped out very wide. Desert Encounter. Sharpolo goes back towards the tail, and Marineres goes over on the fence. Racing History takes over from Prince of Aaron as they go by the 2,000 metre mark. Up the side they begin to run. Old Persian drops across to 3rd, the fence. Next is Spotify, not able to lead here tonight. Crowned Eagle back to 5th. Then Team Talk getting across just ahead of Second Summer. Marineresco, Desert Encounter, and last is Sharpolo. 27.85, so they are crawling as they race into the back straight. And the front runner Racing History out by 3 parts of a length over Prince of Aaron second. Old Persian over on the fence in 3rd. Spotify just getting a little keen now. Over on the fence is Crowned Eagle, then Team Talk. Desert Encounter is out 3 wide around second. Summer, Marinaresco and Sharpolo back at the rear. They march down the back of Maidan, and the front runner is Racing History in the Dubai City of Gold. Racing History by a half length over Prince of Arran. Old Persian just camped away over on the inside. Next is Spotify. Then came Crowned Eagle, now getting a little keen. Outside of it is Team Talk. Desert Encounter is going to be wide into this bend. Next, Marinaresco, followed by second Summer and Sharpolo. Down the side they turn now. Under 1,000 metres left to go, and Racing History has made play and dictated the terms, led by a neck over Prince of Arran. Old Persian is over on the inside. Next of all is Spotify. Now a bit of action from the back. Desert Encounter slides forward, trying to go with it. Team Talk, Sharpolo the outside. Crowned Eagle still boxed away over on the fence, followed by second Summer and Marinaresco. They come to the top of the straight, and the race heats up. Prince of Arran went up on the outside of Racing History. Desert Encounter travels well out 4 wide. Spotify's into the clear. Old Persian isn't. It's badly held up. Sharpolo runs on, and Team Talk trying to work through as well. Racing History kicks strongly out in the middle. Desert Encounter. Old Persian still trying to get through Sharpolo, and Marinaresco down the outside as Racing History in front. Old Persian gets clear, begins to fly. Old Persian's after Racing History. Racing History in front. Old Persian comes and nabs it on the wire. Old Persian gets in from Racing History. A gap off to Desert Encounter. Prince of Arran, then Marinaresco, followed by...
Well, there we go, and that was Marinaresco making up a lot of ground. Kev beaten half a length for third, so the connections have got to be pleased. He seemed to stay every inch of the trip. It's very tough when you're on the fence and there's no false rail.
Absolutely, Left. That's the trick about Dubai, as you know. We started at the Ned Al Sheba track,
yes,
and now we're at the Maidan, but this straight is a long straight too, and it's a testing straight, Left. Yeah. As you know, the turf there, it's proper, it's English turf.
Yeah, it's deep
English turf, deep turf, and they, believe it or not, they put millions of litres on that.
It is desert.
That is the desert, yeah. They put millions, but yeah, he ran on well. I'd like to have seen him more in the race.
More handier?
Handier, yeah.
I thought it was a very good run.
They were trying him over the distance for the first time, so I'd give him a chance.
Yeah.
Was a good run. I've got to give him credit where credit is due. Not bad. Are you going to run him in the Shima Classic? 5 million, 10% of gross stake to run. $500,000. Are you in for $500,000 to have another throw?
Is it at the Shima?
Shima Classic's $5 million, and you pay 10% of gross stake to run.
This Super Saturday, Kev, there was $2.65 million up for stake. It jumps to about 36 or something 36. On the big day.
Yeah, well, that's the mirror image of the Shima Classic.
Yes.
So exactly, they're going to go now, the Shima Classic.
Old Persian won it by Dubawi, Appleby and Buick.
No, they are on fire, Left.
They're on fire,
Godolphin
yeah.
brought a serious bunch of Group 1 English horses to Dubai.
Yeah.
Saved them for this. Saved them for this.
Yeah, you can see that. That certainly is a good run. Let's go have a look at the other run then, Kev. The other race, of course, is Majestic Mambo, coming back from a long layoff. And he runs in the Jebel Hatta, am I right, Kev?
Jebel Hatta is the mirror image now of the duty free.
Got you. So it's a turf
$5
race.
million as well.
$5 million.
Not today.
What's the World Cup? 10?
I think it's high. I think it's 12 million now.
Okay. Let's go and have a look at our other South African horse here, Majestic Mambo.
They're racing in the Jebel Hatta, missing it badly. Right out the back there was Blair House, missed it by 10 lengths. Away quickly on the inside, his first contact. It'll drive through to the front, coming across Loxley to second. Century Dream, a shade keen early, is just over racing. Between horses, Janubi, Majestic Mambo over on the inside, a length and a half then to Wooten. They were followed in turn by Muzdawaj as they settled down Forest Ranger. Then came Dream Castle, and 7 or 8 lengths away to Blair House back at the rear. Down the back straight they go. 25 and 53 is the lead time. First contact responsible for it. Shows the way by a length and a quarter over Loxley in second. Majestic Mambo, the South African, over on the inside. Then Century Dream. Forest Ranger, Janubi. Out wider, Wooten's into the clear. Shouldn't have any hard luck stories tonight. They were followed by Muzdawaj, then Dream Castle. And back at the tail is Blair House trying to tack on after a terrible start. It's first contact, the leader, as they come down the side of the track. Out by a clear length over Loxley in second. Majestic Mambo. Century Dream travelling up okay in fourth, followed by Forest Ranger, then Janubi. Wooten begins to take off. Next of all is Dream Castle trying to track it home. Well back then is Muzdawaj and Blair House. For home they come. 420 metres to go into the stretch, and First Contact shows the way. Still by a length and a quarter. Loxley is down the outside. Century Dream. Now Wooten asks for its effort, and Dream Castle comes with a boomer out in the middle. Behind them is Majestic Mambo, but Dream Castle lengthens beautifully once again. Goes by First Contact, running on his Wooten between horses, but Dream Castle is a dead set star. Dream Castle is going to race away, getting a little weary, but wins by a length over Wooten. Third in his First Contact, fourth Century Dream, then Loxley, followed by Majestic Mambo. Next in is Forest Ranger. Next across is...
Well, there we go. Sure. Again, I thought it was a good run by Majestic Mambo. He hasn't run for a long time.
No run left. I mean, Mark was transparent to say, guys, I'm behind the black ball of this horse. Got him into Dubai late. Tried to put him in. He's running against top horses there left. And
he ran well, Kev.
He ran brilliant race. I thought he just ran out of puff.
Yeah.
He had to run out of puff left on that track. It's a proper track, that.
Yeah.
He had a lovely, I thought, a great ride. Gave him every chance. Stuck him in the race. Third on the fence. They all moved off looking for a run. He came up the inside. If he was good enough or fit enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I won that race on Epitombi. She won. She still got the course record there for that. And I came up the inside as well. They all moved off like that. If you got the horse, go.
You can do it.
And he is the horse, just not fit enough.
Yeah, no, I was impressed with that. And, you know, just another thing I just must mention, there was some good racing up in Gauteng with the younger horses and that, but hats off to Paul Matchett. He took out 3 features, which is very good. He had to share the first one. He had...
he beat my horse, Gin Fizz, by 4.5 lengths. I was shocked. I would like to buy the winner.
Twilight Moon, yeah, he's a smart horse, that.
Wow, smart, understatement.
Basadi Faith, yeah, he gave weight to the runner-up.
Unbelievable.
And beat it. So that was a Master of My Fate, very good boost for Master of My Fate. But Twilight Moon's by Wiley Hall.
Yeah, he's come to the party.
Fantastic, well-bred horse. Yeah. Australian horse and an Australian sire, you know. Was it Frosted Gold did eat him with Twilight Moon. That was the first for Paul Matchett. And then, of course, the Ruffian Stakes, he won that. And he also won with See You There, Where's the Tiger. So a very good day for him, you know.
Great day for Paul. He's a great person left. He's a good trainer. Yeah. Ex-Zimbo.
Ex-Zimbo. He's turned it around.
He's come down and taken on the big boys. They've all come. Roy Magna, they've all come down after the Zimbabwe crashed the first time around.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
okay. Yeah,
and the guys, well done, Paul. Well done.
Just the horse bought back on the Shangweli sale, Bees. It was one of Chris's horses was bought back. The only one bought back wasn't Oaks Trial.
Yeah, can you believe it?
Alex spotted that.
Must have known something, yeah.
And Kev, just before we finish the segment, wonderful to have a day for Anthony Delpesh.
Yeah, Bonji was here yesterday. It was, as I said earlier, a lot of work was done by the whole production team to put that whole week together. A lot of interviews. Well done to Michelle Wing as well. We got a bit of footage from her as well too. But it was great to see Anthony and his family here.
Fantastic.
I don't see Anthony as much as I should do. Him living in Hillcrest, me living in Durban, and him having his injury and not really coming down as much. We speak on the phone as well. But nice to see his mom and
he was very emotional, and rightly so, because it. End of a wonderful career.
Yeah, he didn't want it to end like that. Nobody wants it to end like that.
Yeah, of course.
But as I said to him yesterday, you've got to just look at our 2 mates, one in England, Freddie Tikalik, quadriplegic.
Who's that?
Freddie Tikalik. He had a fall at Kempton. And then we got Ty England. There was in Hong Kong. Also came out the gates. Quadriplegic.
Yeah, you're a fall away from being in a wheelchair.
So he's not in a wheelchair. I said, Lef, count your lucky stars. You were close.
Yes.
Lef, you got...
And it was Majestic Mambo.
Same horse. I said, you don't know how close you were. You've got to get through this whole situation now, and you've got to move on in life, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
And he's had a wonderful career. He's really done well for South African racing.
Excellent. Well, there we go. Then we have to work on 50-minute segments, and that's our 50-minute segment up. We'll be back with your call. Right, we just want to show you our graduates. We saw the Magic Millions logo. Don't forget Jimbo Goodman's over at the Adelaide Sale. But the graduates this week, very good result. Here are them. There are 4 of them that won from the Magic Millions sales. And here they are. Stormborn Thunder, Sir Frenchie, Roy's Novice, and High Seas Beauty. Well done to all of them Magic Millions graduates. Let's hope Jim can find a couple more. But let's go and have a look at your call. Hi, welcome to your call. We were going to dig out mails, and unfortunately they can't seem to release any mails for us. But Kevin and I have got a few topics we want to talk about. I have been sent a couple of WhatsApps which Kevin and I can discuss, and we can talk about other issues that have happened, Kev. But I want to get rolling firstly with this work rider who has basically been told he can't ride anymore. You know, what was his name? Francis Samela.
Francis Samela.
Not riding to instructions. What do you know about that?
This is the second time it's come up with him, and he's had his privileges taken away from him. As we know that the work riders, the setup was run by our good friend James Marie, and Martinez Minis now has stepped in there as well now to keep it going. It's a very, very successful initiative in Johannesburg, and unfortunately this guy is his second warning.
He pleaded guilty to not ride to instructions.
Pleaded guilty not to ride into instructions, and his privileges have been taken away. So it's with
I watched the ride. I watched the ride too. It's a course called Carnivore.
Yeah. So anyway, he's a top boy. I'm sure something's more will happen, maybe an appeal or something, but not riding to instructions. Maybe something else is more cynical that we don't know about. But the National Horse Racing, the NHA, are dealing with it. So once they can give a final report, not just of the inquiry on that, why, who, and how, I can always make a phone call to the guys in Johannesburg or something and find out. But yeah, he's lost his privilege, unfortunately.
So we watch this space.
Watch this space. We'll come back somewhere along the show, a couple of weeks down. We'll maybe be able to say a little bit more about it. Tell you more
so
about
it's Francis
Samela. He's lost his privileges to
I'll
ride
come
the
back to you. I'll come back to you on the jockey issues, Kev. I have to put my glasses on because I got sent a WhatsApp, a very interesting WhatsApp by Anonymous. And
nice guy.
Nice guy. You met him?
Yeah.
So this is how the article goes. Are our horses too highly rated compared to the rest of the world? 2 Met winners and a July winner have raced abroad recently, and the only success was a Group 3 on a synthetic track at Newcastle out of season by Smart Call. Hong Kong has been good to us as Singapore Sling did well, and recently Horse of Fortune won a Group 1. He has also won 2 Group 3 races abroad. He is none other than a half-brother to Do It Again, a phenomenal achievement by their breeder Robin Bruss's Northfield stud, who also bred Group 1 winner Will Pays. Do It Again has won the Vodacom July, Guineas, Queen's Plate, and unlucky second the Sun Met. What a Mare Sweet Virginia is global Group 1 winner and local champion. Do It Again, the champion son of Twice Over. Northfields are also the breeders of Zebra Crossing, who won the Met. Also the breeders of Group 1 winners Circle of Life and African Lion, an amazing feat, even for a large breeding operation. Well done, Robin. Reward for a life of research and passion. Another feat worth mentioning is the feature trail, which I touched on by Paul Matchett, another expat Zimbabwean, which included a dead-heat victory for the first stake winner for Aussie-bred Wiley Hall, who shared the laurels with Aussie Import. The other 2-year-old feature winner was a daughter of Mastermind Fate out of a daughter of Captain L from the family of National Colour, bred to fly. Interesting, the Teletrack announcer dwelt on the second filly, Soft Falling Rain, who proclaimed wasn't herself today. Surely the winner deserved credit. She carried 2 kilograms more than the runner-up and was unbeaten in 2 starts at the time. 1 second faster than the favourite. Well done, Paul and the owner, Miss van der Merwe. Let's give credit where it's due, and let's not give the limelight to the vanquished. Very interesting points there, Kev. Yeah. What I want to ask you is...
Let's start off from the beginning. Are our horses too highly rated?
Yeah, answer that, Kev.
I think so, Lef.
I do too, because we got a July winner running a good race for Marinesco. My figures might be out here, 120, and the winners are 112. Are we getting pushed too highly?
We could be. In our country, you're entitled to push them up.
Correct.
Right? Once they start going abroad...
Do they get adjusted?
They do get adjusted.
They do get adjusted.
Marinesco has been adjusted.
Kev, the point there is very interesting. 2 Met winners and a July winner. And we must be talking about Whiskey Baron, Smart Call, and Marinesco. And so far, we've got a synthetic track Group 3 showing the level we're at, which is, I think one of Sean Terry's Vodacom winners went overseas too, if I'm not mistaken. and didn't set the tracks a lot. And whereas our speed horses have been brilliant.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Your national colour, the JJ, the jet planes.
But those horses left, when they run and they win the Group 1s, they run level weights.
Yes.
Ratings mean nothing, as
Right.
you know. World
Yes.
Cup night, it's not about ratings. It's it's about ratings to get in.
Yeah.
But then you take them on level weights.
So the question he poses is are we too highly rated? I'm inclined to agree with him.
I agree with him as well. I think our horses are too highly rated, but they do get adjusted when they go overseas. Mark speaks about it. Mark de Kock, I'm talking about, speaks about it often about his horses. When you're preparing, you're going into these races up to the World Cup night. Group 1s, you get penalised. We're sending all our Group 1 horses over there. I'll give you an example. Ipitombi used to give the colts weight because she was a Group 1 winner.
That's right.
She used to give them weight. So she had 61, the other guys had 58.
Showed her brilliance.
And she beat them on...
Kev, is it a better band of horses? You touched on it earlier. You said Godolphin are now sending the European Group 1 horses to Dubai.
Without a doubt.
So it's much tougher. Saeed's got his best there. Charlie Appleby's got his best there. And then you've got a lot of very talented
trainers. The Japanese come.
Yeah.
The French come.
The American sprinters.
The American sprinters. You saw Thunder Snow looked like he was going to win the World Cup again. Until you saw him on the weekend, he got hammered.
He got hammered in second. He ran second in that race last year, so that they're quite happy.
No, but he got hammered by an American horse. The first time he took on an American horse on the dirt and
to the front.
100 miles an hour.
I actually wrote it down. I thought they didn't think it would stay. And what is it called?
It's got a funny name.
The Capizone or something, you know. It won by 9.5.
No, Lef, I watched the race. He went to the front, and they were just that track it's terrible, Lef.
He's a son of Bernardini.
Yeah, I'm not a firm believer.
Thunder Snow was runner-up last year, then went on to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
He was runner-up this year, but 9.5. That's a hammering.
He's got to turn it around. Level weights.
Can't happen.
Okay, well, you never know.
Yeah.
You're in the Boys and Blues playground. Anything can happen.
Yeah, but you're talking about Zimbabwe and expats. You got the Robin Bruss and Paulie. Well done to them, eh?
Robin Bruss, if there's
Great
ever a man
knowledgeable, talented.
I travelled to China with him when we opened up the China racecourse. Wow, we were on an aeroplane for 24 hours.
Very intelligent.
And airports and that. So to listen to him and talk to him, memory.
Yeah, he loves his breed and he knows his pedigree.
You ask him in 1956, a horse ran third in the July. It was him hampered at the 400-metre mark.
1956, you picked my year of birth.
Yeah, he'll tell you the horse, how it was bred, who bred it, who rode it, and why it ran third.
He's fantastic.
And
you can
very,
see
very
this guy lists a few horses that he's bred.
No, he does his homework.
Yes, do it again. He's a top horse.
The best horse,
Probably best in the country, yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, and the horse who beat him was bought by Lummerscroll, am I right?
Mark Rattray.
Rainbow Bridge. Mark Rattray.
Mark Rattray.
So Mark Rattray. Sorry, Mark Rattray built.
Mark Rattray's colours, the black and the red and white squares. That's what Rainbow Bridge should be running in, and I'm sure Rainbow Bridge's next run will be in Durban.
Kev, every time I get you on the show, I like to get your opinion on a jockey's update, what's going on. It's because of the health problems, Kev, and people get injured. We've just seen sadly, Anthony called time on his career.
Yeah.
And we've still got jockeys who are injured. Last time we spoke about Gunter, Waishong, Fish. What's the latest?
Gunter's still battling with his vertigo. He's dying to get back.
I can imagine.
He's
he left on top of the tree.
Oh, and I just got to thank Tex Larina. He's the guy who gives me all this information. And he was down yesterday with
he runs the show for them.
He looks after the jocks, and if you need anything, you always phone Tex there. But Donovan Dillon's off for another 3 to 4 weeks with a ligament injury.
Yeah, I wonder what's happened to
ligament.
Knee ligament.
Twisted his knee like that.
Shame, eh?
And ligaments left.
He was riding well too.
You're a footballer. He's riding for Joey Ramsden, riding winner after winner. You're a footballer, you know, ligaments, no good, eh?
No good.
Yvette Pfeiffer, twisted knee ligaments indefinitely at the moment. So apparently he twisted it right around, left. So you got to wait for that.
Okay.
Shadley Fortune, a back injury, indefinite. You got to wait.
Wow, these guys, people don't realise how many guys are sidelined.
Well, that's the problem. You don't see these guys. Ian Sturgeon, between his hip and his knee surgeries for the last 6 months, things aren't looking good. Struggling with Ian Sturgeon, Fish.
We need an update on Fish. You know, he was doing well too.
Get an update. Last time I saw a picture of him, he was in hospital again, in his knee this time. Not his. I think he's had 2 hip hops.
He's young enough to come back.
He's we wished him speedy recoveries. Apprentice Mpuni Mjoko.
Yes.
He's been off for 5 months with damaged knee ligaments as well. Left.
Kev, the knee seems to be a central area in these
They
injuries.
go down and they twist their knees that left.
Did it ever happen to you?
I never really had the ligament injuries.
Yeah.
Tuck and roll, they taught me.
Tuck and roll.
Tuck and roll.
Tuck and roll. Tuck and roll.
And this guy, Joko, he should be riding work soon. Get him back in the system as well.
What's you got any news on Waishong?
I haven't got any news on
His
Waishong.
back was in a bad way.
His back's been playing up longer than mine was, left.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's had more needles in his back than I had as well. And you do it. You go into your facet joints. You go into every possible thing. You try and prevent the having to stop the riding. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. It doesn't work. As you got to get the flow. You got to be going, especially when you're riding winners. Come, let's go next week. And then you got to stop, start. It's not nice, left. And the worst comes to the worst when they tell you, listen, guys, you got to go and they're going to have to cut you open. And you know, once that happens, there's normally a point of no return.
And Kev, any more on your list?
That's all we've got at the moment now left. I'll find out more about some of the older guys, like Waishong. It's nice to see we got Sherman Brown. He's doing. I spoke to Sherman. He says things are tough in Joburg, left. There's small fields. There's 40
small fields countrywide at the moment.
Yeah, there's 40 odd jocks there. Getting rides and winners is impossible. He says impossible. That's why they're travelling now.
I see they're travelling. You know, Diego de Guava, him. I think there's a few others that are travelling down.
They're battling to get rides up there, left, and winners as well. And you got Gavin Larina and Striker Stradum. And the
top riders.
Top riders now. Look, we've got Lyle Hurtson.
Lyle Hurtson joins the pack.
Luke Ferraris.
Yeah, he's getting
the gaps.
These
two guys, I don't actually think they know how good they are yet. It's still young.
Well, time will tell.
Time will tell. Well, you can just see time is telling already. You can see Luke Ferraris and Lyle, they're two top riders.
Sure, let's talk more positively about the jocks. Let's talk about Byron Foster.
Great.
15 years in Singapore.
Made his name in Singapore.
Yes.
Good, clean jock, done well, a wealthy man today. Got offered a job, a big job in Australia. It got delayed.
I think Kieran McAvoy maybe.
Yeah, it got delayed about 2 or 3 weeks with these visas, etc. and so forth. Got to the races, boom, second ride, Group 1, the Newmarket.
Yeah, the Newmarket handicap. That's fantastic.
Second ride, Group 1 left. He's a lightweight jockey.
It's called Sunlight.
Sunlight, 100%. He's a lightweight jockey. He's a likeable person, and I think he'll do very, very well. And what a place to go!
Yeah. So
Australia's booming left with the racing.
What's that?
Australia's booming with the racing.
Oh, thriving.
Thriving.
The sales are thriving. 1 in every 260 people in Australia is going to share in a horse. It's incredible stuff.
I watch it in the morning. I know it's early morning and that, but I watch the racing. It's worth it. But it's so positive. Everything's positive.
They brought shuttle stallions in. They got all their breeding in line. You can buy from one of 10 top stallions and win everything. And we've seen it out here just on the weekend with Wiley Hall and All Too Hard.
Yeah,
you know?
Unfortunately, we could be booming like that, and they get a young crowd left. Have you seen the people that go to races? I mean, you go there, you go to the sales, and you pop into the races.
Always go racing.
And the crowd, they love it. They're on the field there, sitting there, shoes off. They got their bottle of champagne.
They get dressed up and they go racing.
Oh, they love the dress up is a big thing in Australia.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive, Kev. And I know it's Sandown. The judge put the wrong photo up.
Yeah.
Now, how's this for a move?
Different.
They got 2 finishing posts there, Kev. And they sent him a photo from the wrong finishing post. He put it up and there was an outcry.
Kenilworth used to have the same problem.
Was he dossing?
No, I don't know. He just
Warren Isley used to watch everything.
Yeah, I know, but I think what happens is they just maybe sneezed when they went past the post and sent him the picture of the left Kenilworth. How many times it happened in Kenilworth? Jockeys put their hands down. Ask Jeffrey Lloyd. Ask the top guy. Put your hands down. Whoopsie, wrong finishing post. Inside track, outside track.
Yeah,
2 finishing posts.
2 finishing posts. Kev, there's nothing more we got in your call. As I say, we didn't get any information, but thanks very much for the update and the jockeys. It's great. Because our 15-minute slots because of international racing, we have to call it time here as well. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining me, Kev.
Pleasure, Thanks very much.
Love the updates. There we go. That's your call for this week.